everyone, my name is Elsa. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to do the mid-year freakout book tag. I just love so much watching everybody do this tag, and it's so good, and I'm so happy to be doing it this year because this is the first time I'm doing it since I started this channel, and yeah, I'm so excited, especially as I read a lot of books this year, more than 100, and so I have a lot of new favorites, a lot of books I want to talk about, and that's why you're going to see I don't have one answer for each answer. I have at least 3 answers, so bear with me. Just more recommendations for you. First, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. It means a lot to me, and I post at least one new video every week, so if you're interested in my content, please don't hesitate. I love that. So let's get into the tag. So first question is, best book you've read in 2021? So I have a lot, and most of them I couldn't fit them into this category, so I put them in another question. You will see. So the first one is Piranesi. So this could have been a big surprise as well because I thought I would love it because it was recommended to me by Brittany Reid, I think. I will put her channel in the description. But we have extremely similar book taste, and if she recommends something, I'm usually going to trust her and just love this book. But this one sounded a bit like out of my comfort zone because it was described as very atmospheric, and atmospheric books tend to not work for me because I'm a huge character-driven reader and I love good plots. So if I don't have a good plot and good characters and just a beautiful writing and atmosphere, it's not going to be enough for me. But in this case, the main character was just everything. You will see later. And I love the story, I love the atmosphere, and everything was just, I feel like this book was written for me. It's very special, so it won't be for everyone, but if it is, you will just, fall completely head over heels for this one. So I highly recommend you at least give it a try, especially as it's quite short, like maybe 300 pages or something. The main character is a mix between Laszlo and Spock, and this has a VOA, the show vibe. So if you like this show, you will just love this book. It is more peaceful though, because it's not a thriller, and so you're peaceful and relaxed reading it. It makes you so happy. So yeah, the VOA, but happy and peaceful with, a Laszlo Spock character. Please read it. So yeah, this Piranesi was amazing. The other one, which was a huge surprise, was The Goblin Emperor. Like, this book blew my mind away. It was very heavy on the political intrigue, and I love that, and it was so gorgeous, and so this made me so happy. The world building was incredible, and the main character is my everything now, so I will come back to him. The other one was Things My Son Needs to Know About the World, which is a very short book written by Fredrik Backman, who also wrote, Beartown, Anxious People, etc. If you haven't read a book by him, please do. He's one of my favorite authors, and this one was just so impactful and beautiful and just everything for me. It's basically short anecdotes he wrote to his son, and so anecdotes about just before he had his son and when he had his son, and it's extremely funny because things about the diapers and things he had to do with his wife, etc. In order to prepare the apartment for the baby, etc. It's so funny, and also extremely beautiful because it talks about death and love and parenthood and what it means to be alive and religion, etc. It's just such a gorgeous book. Highly recommend it. And finally, there was Sleeping Giants, which was just incredible. This is so unpredictable, like you have no idea where the story is going, and I loved the format. It is interviews, and the audiobook is just fantastic. I love the characters, I love the plot, I was so intrigued, I just wanted answers, and it was so good. Next question, best sequel you've read so far in 2021? I have 3 for this one. The first one is Flamefall, the second book in the Fireborn series. Oh my god, I really liked the first book in the series, but the second volume was just everything, like everything. The second one I'm going to say is The Well of Ascension, the second book in the Mistborn series. So good. And then we have Artificial Condition, which is the second book in the Murderer Diaries, and same, so good. I really liked the first book, but the second one stole my heart. Alright, third question, new release you haven't read yet but want to. I have 5. Winter's Orbit, Mask of Mirrors, The Unbroken, Malibu Rising, and Ace of Spades. So I'm really excited for all of them, and hopefully I will read all of them before the end of the year. 4. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. Oh my gosh. have so many. The first one is Under the Whispering Door, which will be T.G. Klune's next book. He wrote The Lightning Struck Heart and The House in the Cerulean Sea. Both books I adored, and so this one sounds amazing and I can't wait to read it. The next three are sequels to series I'm just in love with. So the first one is the second book in the Deadly Education series. I'm just obsessed with this series and I can't wait to read the next book. I've been waiting a year and a half to have it, so you have no idea how anxious I am to get my hands on it. The next one is the next book in the Keeper of the Lost Cities. I'm obsessed with this series. This is one of my favorite series of all time. I can't wait to read the next book. I've been waiting for it for so long. And the last one is the third book in the Beartown series by Fredrik Backman. Same, I love this series. Like the first two books were everything to me, and I can't wait to have the final book in the series. Alright, next question. Biggest disappointment. Oh my. These weren't the worst books I read. There are worse books I read this year, but the thing is, these books, I didn't have particular expectations about them. Like, I started them and right away I knew I was going to hate them. These, I was convinced would be 5 stars. And so, going from 5 stars to where they ended up was just so disappointing. So the first one is One for the Murphys. Biggest disappointment of the year. No question. So this one was amazing. And like, the 95% of this book was everything to me. And it would, without question, have been one of my favorite books of all time if it hadn't been for the ending. Like, the ending of this book destroyed me. I was in tears for 2 hours because of this ending. So yeah, just hated how I felt after reading this book because of that awful ending. So no comments. The next one was Dragon's Pearl, and this was so disappointing because first I thought this would be a 5 stars, and also because it had so much potential. Like, every idea was great and the execution was always lacking, and yeah, so disappointing. The next one was The Gilded Ones. I have a rant on it. I will link it in the cards. But yeah, this started out so well. The premise of this book was so amazing. I love the cover. I love the idea behind it. And in the end, just it made no sense. Like, I hate how everything, wrapped up, and just the ending made no sense. Everything made no sense, and I hate books that have, huge plot holes and inconsistencies, and this one was all that. Plus the character work wasn't there, and see my rant if you want more. And the last one, I just finished, so you will have all my thoughts in my next wrap-up, but this is The Unadoptables, and this sounded like everything I loved. Like, how did the author didn't do a better job with this one? I don't know. Because the premise was so good, the cover was so good, everything sounded so amazing, and in the end it was really disappointing. So yeah. The biggest surprises. So I had big disappointments this year, but I also had big surprises. Like, books I had, no expectations going in, or thought there would be, 4 stars, something like that, and it just blew my mind away. So they're all 5 stars, and I had no idea going in that I would love them so much. So the first two are Goblin Emperor and Piranesi. I already talked about, they were my favorite books of the year. The next one was Orion Lust. This is a middle grade science fiction book, and this was amazing. The plot was, oh my god, just for a middle grade, I have never seen anything like it. Like, blew my mind away. The next one was Sadie. I was a bit worried about this one because of all the content warnings. I was sure I wouldn't be able to take it and that it would just be, not my cup of tea. And this blew my mind away. Like, I loved the main character so much. I couldn't put this book down, and it was just everything. Loved this book so much. So the next one was My Lady Jane. Like, this was amazing. I thought it would be, a fun read and it would be okay. And it was just so amazing. Such a feel-good book. It was hilarious. I loved the characters, I loved the world building, I loved the fantasy elements, I loved the love story. Everything was like, the perfect book I want to read to be happy and just have a wonderful time. The next one was The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. This one at first I thought it would be amazing, and then I heard mixed reviews for it, and I was like, maybe it won't be that good. And I just picked it up because I had a buddy read, and this is without contest, the best thriller and mystery novel I've ever read in my entire life. And where was this book all my life? It was incredible, like a mix between Agatha Christie and Inception, like just blew my mind. It was so good. The next one was Assassin's Apprentice, because I heard a lot of people saying how Robin Hobb is amazing, etc. But I had never read a book by her, and I don't know, I was a bit on the defense with this one. I didn't think it would be that great, and it just stole my heart. It was so good, and I can't wait to finish the series. The final one was One of Us is Lying. So this one I thought would be, you know, a fun young adult thriller to read and pass the time. This became one of my favorite books of all time. Just amazing. I loved it so much. This was so different from what I expected. Like, it was Breakfast Club done better than Breakfast Club, and oh my god, this was so good. If you want more my thoughts on this book, I will talk about it in my next wrap up. Alright, next question. Favorite new author. So most of the books I loved this year I had already read books by them, or I've only read the one series I started this year. So I know I should have at least read, 2 books by this author to say it's a favorite, but I have a very strong feeling that Rosaria Munda, who wrote the Fireborn series, and Susanna Clarke, who wrote Piranesi, will be my new favorite authors. Like, I can't say for sure because I've only read, one series by them, but the way they write, the way they construct the story, the way they write characters, I'm just sure they will be, new favorite authors. Right, next question. Newest fictional crush. So I don't get crush with characters in books, but I don't know how to explain it, 3 characters that are, in my heart. They are kind of role models in my life, and they just inspire me, and I love them with all my heart, and they just have a special place in my heart, and they're all very similar. they're almost saints. They are so good, and they're just, everything I want to be in life. These 3 characters are Wanda from The Host by Stephanie Meyer, Laszlo from Strange the Dreamer, and Soru from Fruit Basket. So these 3 have, like I said, a special place in my heart. And this year I have 3 characters to add to this list. Like, they are characters that just are everything to me. The first one is Piranesi from Piranesi, and oh my gosh, he's just my baby. Like I said, a mix between Laszlo and Spock, and I love him with all my heart. Like, he has a scientific mind, but he's so kind, and he has this optimistic way to see life. He only sees the beauty in life and in everything around him, and he's just a cinnamon roll. I love him so much. The other one is Maya from the Goblin Emperor. Like, Maya is everything to me. Like I said, he's a mix between Piranesi and Laszlo. He's just everything to me. I love Maya so much, and he's smart, like really smart and cunning. But he doesn't show it because he's so damn good. Like, he's goodness incarnated. Like, I love him so much. And the last one is Fitz from Assassin's Apprentice. Like, he's a bit of a stretch, but it's only because he would be like the other ones if he didn't live in such a harsh world, and if he wasn't, controlled by other people that basically make him things he wouldn't do if he had the choice. No, but he himself is a cinnamon roll, and I love him so much. And the way everything he does is for other people, he's just always sacrificing himself, and I love him so much. And so these 6, I actually made a wallpaper for my computer. This is the image if you want to see it. But these 6, just everything to me. Next question is newest favorite character. So aside from these 3, I will have 2 more. The first one is Annie from the Fireborn series. Like, Annie, she's everything. She's just Annie. Like, she's so smart, and she's ready to go all the way to what she believes in, and she's so good and amazing. Such a complex character, and she's just amazing. She's my girl. Please read Fireborn just to see Annie. And the other one is Mystery Guy. In the Themis Files, which is just amazing, the book is told from with interviews. Like, you don't have narration, only interviews. And there is always this guy that is doing the interviews. And you don't know anything about him. You don't know his name, you don't know what he's doing here, you don't know what his role in the story is, you don't know anything about him. You just know he's very important and he has high-placed connections. And so Mystery Guy is everything to me. I love him so much. And with the audio, it's so perfect because I just love his voice, and he has this sarcastic tone and he's so ruthless. Like, he had this Glocta vibe from the first Lot trilogy. Like, I just love him so much. A book that made me cry. So both are by Fredrik Backman, and these are Anxious People and Things My Son Needs to Know About the World. Just, oh my gosh. And I cried because they're a bit sad, but mostly because they're so beautiful. Like, so beautiful. And you cry because it's so beautiful and so touching and moving. And books that made me happy. And this is the kind of books I love, because Anxious People and What My Son Needs to Know About the World, these are books that made me cry, but that also made me incredibly happy. This is how good Backman is. He tells stories that can be seen as sad, but they are so inspiring and so heartwarming, and these two books are just everything. Other books that made me happy, Goblin Emperor. Like, this is such a feel-good book. One of Us is Dying made me so happy. Nevermore, so happy, just fun and light. Flipped made me so happy, just cute and adorable. Orion Lost made me so happy, the ending was everything. My Lady Jane, because it was just perfect, like so funny, so cute, so adorable, love the ending. Piranesi, just everything to me. Like, Piranesi is my safe place. And so all these books, I love the ending. I just felt so good after reading them. Alright, most beautiful book you've bought so far this year or received. So I have a lot. So the first one is the Assassin's Apprentice illustrated edition. So let me show you one of the illustrations, one of the first ones, so it's not spoiler. Let me find one. Oh, why is it so hard? You know, you have these kind of illustrations. They are just so gorgeous, and the book in itself, like the binding, it's just gorgeous. The other one I have is The Priory of the Orange Tree. Look at this gorgeous cover. I love it so much. Then I have A Natural History of Dragons. This is so gorgeous. This isn't cut straight because it gives you the feeling of a manuscript. And inside you have illustrations of dragons. Let me find one like this one. Oh, so gorgeous. I just find it so beautiful. And the last one is Piranesi. Where it is? Where is it? This is gorgeous. And if you've read the book, you know why this is the cover, and it's just gorgeous. And I love what we got under the dust jacket. Like, this is so gorgeous. Next question. What books do you need to read by the end of the year? So many. My TBR is huge. But there are books that I bought that I absolutely want to read by the end of the year. So we have The Hero of Ages, the last book in the Mistborn series. Can't wait to read this one. The Inheritance trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. The Daughter of Smoke and Bone. The Poppy War trilogy. The City of Stars trilogy. And finally, I think it's the Texicalan duology. This one I can't wait to read as well. So this is it for this tag. I hope you enjoyed it. It was so much fun to do, and yeah, I just love this tag. Please tell me in the comments if you've read any of the books I talked about and what you thought about them. I just love to know. And yeah, that's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. See you around.